It's picked off. So I'm hosting tonight. I'm Denzel Snipes, aka Snipe Dog. I got to the right of me the boy, the one and only JT James Tatum. Right below me is Dom DeRubeis, and over in the right lower corner is the Ravens aficionado himself. We're gonna be getting to your game right at the end because it's in prime time. But yeah, this is picked off. We've had an interesting season thus far. Interesting season making these picks, absolutely. But before we get it started, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing well. I'm 9-1.
Doing good, man.
See this? Can you see what that is?
Who is that on this shirt? It looks like Martha Stewart.
It's Dorothy doing the Run the Jewels.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
As soon as I saw that on the internet, I was like, shut up and take my money.
Everybody say hello to Bacon Grizzler 69.
Yep.
AKA
Yes.
Grizzly.
Thank you for tuning
Hey, what
in
up?
each and every week, twice a week. We love you, Grizz.
Yes,
Yes, we do.
absolutely. Well,
No
And
homo.
if you ever want to come on the other side of the YouTube and join us for one of these shows, we'd love to have you.
yes, absolutely.
Quality show, bro.
That extend that
He knows
invite
that.
has been extended out for so whenever you're ready and you want to come on the show, man.
He knows
I
he
tried to
was
get Tyler, but
He
he's at
also
an
was,
Everblades game.
He also was present for Gauntlet 100 when we did Gauntlet 100 both nights actually. So
I
yeah,
call
shout out
him-
to you guys. I'm
I
pretty
call
sure.
him I call him the comment king. Because you
Yes.
never know what kind of wild ass shit he gonna put on, and I just pull it on the screen, and it's too
Yeah.
late. It's too late to take it back. So,
Exactly, yeah.
you know.
And I'm pretty sure Wyatt will be joining here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and get started. So tomorrow night, Thursday night football, Steelers are 4-point road faves at Browns. So coming off a huge win against Baltimore, can they keep the train rolling? We'll swing it on over to JT and see what you think. Who you got, Steelers or Browns?
I got the Browns. I think this game is
Really?
going to keep the Ravens back on top of the AFC North because the same position, or the Ravens were in the same position against the same team a few weeks ago, and they were shocked. So I think in the AFC North, this thing's happened. And these division games is not a gimme, despite what is the record. So I think Jameis is going to come out. He's going to come up with some speech or something, which you know he does that with the eat the W's and all that, which he's done in his career. And he's going to do something, and I think the Browns are going to win a close one. Browns with the upset.
Man, indeed. Well, let's swing it on down to JJ and get your thoughts on this one. Who you got, Steelers or Browns?
I am kind of shocked that you went with the Browns. I think it's going to be. I don't know. I think Pittsburgh's going to win it because I think their defensive line is going to control the tempo of this game. And you're having Jameis Winston, who will make mistakes, and I think that was a good win for them against us. They're physical. They're going to punch you in the mouth, and Cleveland is just not there, in my opinion. It's going to be a good game, but I actually got Pittsburgh winning this game.
All right. What about that line? Do you like that line?
I didn't even
Quit
see
it.
it.
Kitten for
The
sale.
Lions are Steelers' favorite by 4.
No, I don't like that.
Okay.
Actually, no, change that. Change that because I'll buy that.
You buy it? You buy it? Okay, then. And actually, Bacon's got the Steelers covering. He's got Steelers 17-13. Dom, who do you got?
To be honest, I couldn't envision a world that I would have picked the Browns, but James kind of convinced me. It seems like one of those trap games, like especially because the Steelers kind of just took one from the Ravens, and now they could very easily get it right back. I don't know if they won last week or not, but I want to say Jameis had a pretty good game. Slowly, very, very slowly, but eventually, surely, we're starting to see the Nick Chubb that we remember. And yeah, isn't it the Browns that the Steelers have struggled with typically, like regardless of which direction their teams were going in? Bro, if you don't quit it, kitten for sale.
Yeah.
Kitten for free. Come get him.
Pretty much during like the Roethlisberger era, they like dominated the Browns. Now,
Well, I also think it's unique because it's on a short week. So teams are having quick time to prepare, and that's where Thursday night football can get a little bit freaky.
Right. All right. Oh,
I
what
want
you have?
to hang on real quick, just because it's Thursday, super fast. A couple of years ago, I want to say it was like Max Kellerman. He had the solution to since the NFL is insisting on these Thursday night games, you make them all division games, and then you get a bye the week after, or no, the week before. And I dig that idea. Anyways, just throwing it out there. Let's go.
Who you got?
He
Browns.
said he got
Brown.
Brown.
Okay. All right. I'll take the Steelers in this one. They're rolling until further notice. I think the Browns do keep it close though. But I got the Steelers not covering. They're going to win by a field goal. I've got probably 20-17 Steelers. All right. Next game. All right.
Oh boy, this should be quick.
Titans, yeah. Titans coming into H-Town. Houston is 8-point home favorites. Can they keep it rolling, or will Levis stun H-Town? We'll start off with JT. Who you got?
I'm going to stick with the Texans in this one, but there's not a chance in hell that I'm going to pick the Lions. Number one, I don't know if the Houston offense is going to have that consistency. The Tennessee Titans has a very good pass defense.
Yes, they do.
So I think them against the Texans receivers, that's a matchup that you need to take a look at. But ultimately, the Texans will still win, but it will not be by 8. It will be a closer score.
Okay. JJ, what about you?
Well, the last time they played each other, the Houston blew them out 28-3. But it's a different team. But I do believe Nico is back. I'm going to take Houston in this game, but I'll say a touchdown.
Okay. Not JJ. Dom, who do you got in this one?
I'm taking the Texans. First of all, because they're a much better team. Second of all, what James said about the Titans having a great pass defense, that's actually only 70% true, because one of those games they faced Caleb Williams in his rookie debut. Another one of those games, the Lions only had 80 passing yards on them. The Titans are not good at all. And also, fuck you, Titans. I'll give me the Texans and their name back. Oilers. And those sweet ass jerseys.
Oh man, yeah, I'll keep it fast.
Ow!
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Titans have the number 2 ranked pass defense in the league, but it still won't be enough. Their quarterback is Will Levis. Not overlooking him, but Will Levis hasn't done good against Houston, and Houston really knows how to get to him. So it may be a scenario where they force enough turnovers and create short fields, and then Mixon has another multi-touchdown game. I'll take the Texans 23-10. Actually, no, scratch that. 28-10. Next
I
game.
was going to ask you real quick.
Uh-huh.
Was Nico on a pitch count last week, or did they just not target him a ton?
They didn't target him a ton because, well, Dallas couldn't
Because
stop
Joe
Mixon.
Mixon was running it up everyone's booty hole.
Right, yep. No jelly. Next game. What we got? All right, Vikings at Bears, another NFC North divisional matchup. Vikings trying to stay alive in the NFC North race. Bears trying to do what they can to stay alive as well. I'm gonna swing it over to JJ, not JJ. I'm sorry, to JT. Is this one close, or do the Vikings get away from them in this one?
I think the Bears are going to win outright.
Woo!
The Bears look much better after firing their offensive coordinator. They look more fluent. They look like there's just a freshness with this team. That's the first component. The second component is, what have I been saying to everybody about the Minnesota Vikings year after year? You can say whatever, they start with 5-0 or whatever. But in the end, you know who this team is, and you know what they do later in the season. And I think that's what we're going to start to see. And the Minnesota Vikings are going to tail off, and they may not even make the playoffs. They may not, because somebody else is going to take their place in the NFC. You got a lot of good teams on the come up. You look at the Arizona Cardinals. You look at them leading their division. Someone like Seattle could creep up. And then Minnesota obviously not going to win the division. So they're going to be battling for a wild card spot, which they may not get. So I got the Chicago Bears winning this game by a score of 24-17.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, now JJ, what you got for us? Vikings or Bears?
I actually was going to go with the Bears as well because I just think I don't think Minnesota is as good as anyone thinks they are, and I think that they have
Absolutely not.
shown that they're struggling to get these wins. They're not exactly dominating and thinking. I think in a divisional game, you just never know. Chicago's defense is pretty good, and at the end of the day, I do think that they almost beat Green Bay. You know, they're competitive, and I think that they're going to give
They should have
Minnesota
won that game.
their loss.
All right. And Dom, what about you?
I'm going to take the Bears as well. Also, James, if you want to officially coin the phrase, because you were kind of alluding to it, are you saying at some point, maybe starting this week, Vikings gonna Viking?
I don't call them the Vikings. I call them the Purple Freaks. But yes,
The Minnesota Vikings?
Purple
Yeah,
Freaks.
like JJ said, like their record kind of belies what they've had going on. Like they are struggling to get these wins, but it's kind of a two-sided coin. Like they're winning close games, so they're not dominant. But at the same time, what do good teams usually do? Win close games. However, the what next Thursday is Thanksgiving. 3 days after that is December. Then that's when you really start to see who's who and what's what. Yeah, give me the Bears.
All right. Well, fellas, whew, I
You're ready?
think I'm actually going to lone wolf and take shit. Give me the Bears. And here's why. Okay? Because eventually you got to break through. You lost on a Hail Mary. You lost on a blocked field goal. At some point, you got to break through. And I think this is it. And to James's point, there are sometimes Minnesota does not know how to finish seasons. I think it was the 2003 Vikings that became the first in NFL history to start 6-0 and miss the postseason. It's something about that second half of the year. You know what I'm saying? Then remember 2 years ago, people thought, oh man, Minnesota was for real. Now they didn't make the postseason, but they lost to Daniel Jones, the guy that just got demoted
That's right.
fourth string quarterback, fourth behind the great Tim Boyle.
Yeah. Incoming Tommy Cutlets to ruin the Giants draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. No, give me the Bears in this one. It will be close though, but I'm gonna say Caleb does enough to get it done, 23-20. Next game. Okay. Lions are touchdown road faves at Colts. One Pride seeks to go 10-1. And quarterback Anthony Richardson, who had his kind of comeback game last week, put the team on his back, scored the game winner, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Colts are looking to upset. Starting off with you, JT, who you got?
The Lions are playing the best football right now, and they're dominating teams and blowing away teams. I think it's going to continue because I just think the Lions just have a belief in what's going on there. You're running the ball with a 1-2 punch with Gibbs and Montgomery. The balance that the two have with each other is unbelievable. Jared Goff playing well, so it's hard to bet against the Detroit Lions. And I'm not going to do it this week either. So give me the Lions, and I think they cover the spread.
All right. JJ, what about you, man?
You can give it to Dom, or you want to make him last.
Whoa,
Go whatever.
it's his team.
We're keeping our order. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going in clockwise, so go ahead, JJ.
Okay. Lions at Colts. Detroit is definitely playing some very, very good football. Dom, why you do your face like that? Because I think he knows. It's like, no, I'm playing. I was
Did my
thinking.
did my face make a face?
I thought you was catching on thinking that I was about to go against your squad because eventually I kind of was, but then I was just like,
We're
no,
gonna lose at some
this
point.
is not the team that I think will do it. Although it will be interesting to see how they handle a guy that still does have to rely on his legs. And
Mhm.
even though we didn't have to do it as much, he was something that was a problem for them when they faced us when they came to Baltimore that one time.
I'm
Yeah,
still terrified of y'all.
and
Terrified.
so I want to see what it is with Anthony Richardson and see what he does, see if he can kind of make some throws and stuff. But I have the Colts covering, but I've got the Lions winning.
All right, Dom.
I will be there watching the Colts lose. I'm not too sure about that spread. Colts defense is pretty good. I'm still I'm not as terrified of mobile quarterbacks as I was, but I'm still quite scared. We did a pretty decent job on Kyler Murray and Gino, if you can call him. I wouldn't call him mobile, but
Gino
you
was
know
mobile against the
he
49ers.
he, he can avoid a sack or two. But um, Richardson is a horribly inaccurate thrower of the football. Although he does like to throw the deep ball, and back, playing center field are two safeties that have a combined 11 interceptions. I think Kirby gets another one this week. We win. I don't think we cover. Also, I'll be interested to see what the average makeup of a Colts fan is. I can't imagine them being dickheads. Like they've been a middling team since Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah, pretty much. Crazy part about what you said, Dom, is you said that well we're gonna drop another one some point in the season. The crazy part about it is if y'all were, the Colts could be the one to do it. They've been known to kind of steal one from contenders. A couple years ago, knocking out Pat Mahomes comes to mind, and several other games as well. But I just don't think it's going to be this Sunday. Give me the Lions in this one. I don't. The Lions they didn't allow Joe Mixon to get off whenever Houston played him, and I don't see the same thing happening with Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor would be their best chance to win the game. Give me the Lions. I'm going to say Lions 31-17. Next game. This might be
Ugh.
fast. Patriots at Dolphins. Dolphins are a home touchdown favorite. Miami looking to keep it rolling to help propel them into the AFC wildcard race. JT, your thoughts about this game and who you got?
Yeah, the Dolphins winning. They're starting to play a lot better football. They've won their last two games. Lost a really close game to Buffalo, or maybe they could have won three straight. So I think it's going to keep rolling for Miami. And I just don't think that this Patriots team has the talent to contend with what the Dolphins have. You have Tyreek Hill on the other side, one of the best in the game. Give me the Dolphins.
All right. JJ, what about you? And do you like that line?
I'm actually going to take the Patriots here. I actually think
Woo.
their defense is going to be pretty surprising, and I think while Miami does seem to be playing a little bit better, I think the Patriots are starting to be like, you know what, we might actually have a guy. We don't know what he's going to be like for the rest of his career yet, but he's helping us. Our offense is looking a little bit better. We're slowly but not surely, and this is a type of game where you could steal one from a team. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay. All right. Dom, what about you?
Um, I was kind of in the middle on it, but then again, JJ kind of convinced me for I'm going to go against one thing that's almost always a credo. Never pick a quarterback from a basketball school, Drake May, but wasn't it wasn't it the Patriots that always used to struggle with the Dolphins back during that dynasty?
Yep.
Yeah. Now somehow the Patriots win because of that. Because the
Oh,
blood oath has been lifted.
yeah.
I actually like Drake May. He's got the potential to be the best quarterback from a basketball school in quite some time.
He just doesn't have very much around him.
So Dom
Nothing.
says the curse of Cutler Tannehill will be lifted and the Patriots will win. I'm actually almost with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Dolphins, but I think the Patriots hang around. They hung around with the Rams last week. I personally, I am impressed with Drake May. I really like what he's doing out there. But this is a Dolphins team that's got something to prove. They're trying to save their season, and when they get rolling like this, once they get their guy back, sometimes they can be difficult to beat. Divisional game as well. I'm going to take the Dolphins 26-21.
Is it cold?
All right. And yeah,
Ugh.
this fast. Buccaneers 5.5 point road faves, obviously. Tommy Cutlet is in at quarterback for the G-Men. Will it be enough to beat Baker Mayfield? JT?
Will it be enough? What the Giants are doing is an absolute disgrace. You have Drew Lock, that's been the second quarterback, backup quarterback to Daniel Jones the whole season, and then all of a sudden he's demoted to the third string and DeVito started. What's happening is obvious is that the Giants are trying to lose on purpose so they can get the best draft pick. So the Giants are a losing franchise. They're a franchise that stinks, and they're going to continue to stink. And Baker Mayfield's going to torture you. So yeah, I got the Buccaneers.
All right. JJ?
Yeah, they're trying to get Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward or something for sure because Drew Lock has the potential to possibly win a game, but DeVito, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I got the Bucks in this game. Yeah, I'll take that spread because I think there's going to be a couple defensive changes of the game that give the Bucks easy chances to score. I'm gonna go with that spread.
Okay. Dom?
I'm actually going to take the Giants because the only thing that would be funnier or more ironic than signing Daniel Jones to that ridiculous contract would be benching him in anticipation of moving on and trying to tank, and then Tommy Tryhard comes in and wins the game and ruins their draft pick because every Giants fan in the state of New Jersey, most of them are Italian. They've all got a big boner for Tommy DeVito and his agent that wears a Halloween costume every day. Remember I was saying earlier that thing about Nick Wright being the love child of Hans Gruber?
Yeah.
That's one of the main sports talk guys from Detroit. The dude went to state, but he's from New York, so he's a Giants fan. So he's just been angry for like 2, 3 straight years. And he called it. He was like, DeVito's gonna come in and win us a bunch of games that we don't need to win, don't want to win.
Wow.
Just just lessening the chances in the Shadur Sanders sweepstakes.
Watch
Oh,
him
that's
go.
a nice alliteration.
He gonna say they like so many Italians, so the mob going to.
It would be so great if the Giants won this game, though, just because it's obvious what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're
It's,
gonna.
and you know what? I was going to take the Bucks, but I got a feeling when Tommy DeVito hits that field, you might see a different team. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether they fall back down to earth against Cooper Rush on Thanksgiving is in the air. But actually, yeah, I think I'm going to take the Giants in this one. And don't be surprised if Tracy makes up for the fumbles he had overseas and scores the winner. So you know what? I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say Giants 20-17. Next
All
game.
right.
The second most powerful motivating factor for a team besides first game with an interim coach is quarterback because you just benched a starter that you hate.
You're right. Yeah,
How many times has Andy Dalton or Ryan Fitzpatrick or fill in the blank backup quarterback come in and won their first game when named the starter?
yeah, this is true. This
It's gonna
happens.
happen.
It's
All
magic.
right. So it's been a really long time since the Cowboys were double-digit underdogs, but you also understand why. I've been getting a kick on TikTok that man, here we go again. That when I need a good laugh, I go and cut that on. I
That
think
guy
I
with the
sent it
shower
to
cap?
you.
Man, here we go again. This team ain't going to ever win.
Yeah, you got to go find it, man. Dude, just go on TikTok and type in, man, here we go again. It'll pop right up. But we'll start with JT, man. What your thoughts about this game? What you got?
Here's what I want to say to the people. Watch out, because this line is too much. And the Commanders is coming off a long rest, and everything should go right for them. So this is going to be a trap game. I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be competitive. Don't forget that both games against the Commanders, they won both games. Those were pretty tight games till the end.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be the same. I think it's going to be that type of game. But I think the Commanders win by a field goal.
Oh, okay. So you don't have them covering. All right.
Not at all.
JJ, what about you?
So yes, this game I don't really think it's going to be. I think it's going to be an ugly, good, competitive game. Like I think it's going to just be ugly because these teams know each other, and much like the Ravens and the Steelers, or the Eagles and the Giants, the Bears and the Packers, when these two teams go against each other, they often have close games. So I definitely think it's going to be closer than anticipated. But I got the Commanders winning this. But I got the Commanders winning this by like one. I think they're going to have to get a field goal to win this game
He
because
doesn't have them covering.
I think that this is going to be that typical matchup that it's going to be like a 16-14 or 24-22 type game. But I don't.
Some weird numbers.
The real question is, does the Cowboys have any chance of winning this game?
I think they do.
Yeah, it's the NFL.
It's their rival. It doesn't matter what the record is. It's your rival. It's a big thing. And typically, in this particular rival, just because I've heard it from both fan bases, especially the traditional fans, if they're having a bad season, they just care about winning this matchup, and that's okay for them. So I know that they're going to bring it because they're not going to the playoffs. So they're going to definitely. You got to beat your rival. At the end of the day, we did the same thing when we were 5-11. We beat the 13-4, 13-2 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
And we didn't care because we just wanted that victory.
Yeah, and to JJ's point, some old school traditional Cowboys fans, they will tell you we can go 1-15 as long as that one win is against Washington.
Bingo. That's what they say because they're fulfilled. They've seen their team win. Now it's like they're grateful for the 5. That's what real fans of the teams the traditional fans are. They're just like, look, we have a bad season. What are you playing for? Why are you trying to win the most games? If you know you're not going to the playoffs and you want a good draft pick, just make sure you beat your rival. Go 2-14, beat your rival. Call it a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Dom, your thoughts about this game?
I almost briefly thought about picking Dallas, but I can't. And then I was thinking back to like last year. I thought it was the Cowboys, but I think it was actually James's Eagles. Didn't you guys lose to the Commanders last year at some point? Like,
no, we beat the Commanders both games. Those two close games.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2022.
I thought maybe it could be something like that, but yeah, I don't like that spread, but I don't see how the Cowboys possibly win.
All right.
And if they're smart, like most of our Cowboy fans friends are on the let's not win another game tip.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the game would be close in the first half, but ultimately I got the Commanders 24-14. Now, the only way that the Dallas Cowboys would have a shot at winning this game, Micah Parsons in that defense has to get to Jaden Daniels. They have to create turnovers and give Cooper Rush a short field.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, don't expect Rico Dowdle on a screen pass, sure. Running a touchdown, Zeke, no. It's going to be on Cooper Rush's arm. And the question is, can he get it done? But for now, I got the Commanders, and I got them covering-ish. Yeah, 24-14. All right, next game.
They need to do a good job of stopping the screen game because that's what they do.
I really don't understand why the Cowboys are not letting Trey Lance have a chance.
At some point, they got to. But
he threw 5 interceptions in a preseason game.
Make this shit quick so we can move on, JT.
You know what?
Wait, is that 2 question marks? Oh, 11.
The Chiefs are going to win. I don't even really feel like I need to explain the reason why, but yeah.
JJ?
Andy Reid after a loss. They're pretty much almost. I think they're undefeated, almost close to undefeated when he comes back from a loss.
It's a very good record, yeah.
The
Very
question
good
is going to
record.
be who's going to win. It should be by how much.
I think that it's going to be a rout for them because I think the Chiefs defense is going to swallow that Panthers offense. People don't really realize that defense is really lethal. That defense is strong,
The
and
Chiefs.
the Chiefs defense is strong.
Oh yeah, it's been good all year.
It's strong, and I think they're going to do something. They're going to get a couple defensive changes, and then you give Patrick Mahomes any possessions, especially short fields, he's going to make it work because he and DeAndre Hopkins are starting to get it going.
Dom?
I was trying. I didn't have enough time to look and see, but I was going to say whoever's sitting in front of a computer, tell me who the second worst team in all of college football is. There's what 130 some teams.
Yep.
Panthers will still win.
This is essentially Ohio State against the at best second worst team in all of college football, and it will look like it. Or yeah, no, they can't even cover that spread.
Last I checked,
I'm surprised it's not more because didn't we see one last week or the week before that was an even bigger spread?
something like that.
Yeah.
Like 13.
The Lions was like 14.
Oh, Lions Jags.
Yeah, it was Lions Jags. Yeah.
We almost didn't cover.
Mhm.
I mean, we didn't have the spread covered until halfway through the first quarter.
First quarter, yeah. It's like what took y'all so long, right? But
They got the ball first.
as far as this game goes, last I checked, the little bearded guy who can walk on water and make miracles didn't visit me in a dream and tell me to pick the Panthers. And until he does, I got the Chiefs. Next game.
Imagine how much money Vegas is going to make if the Panthers win this game, though.
Boy, that would break the city.
Or even cover.
They keep betting on this thing. They keep betting on this over. They're gonna make the Panthers cover.
True.
Broncos, you saw what
5.5.
happened with Green Bay. I think in Jacksonville, everybody had the over on that cover, and Jacksonville
played Green Bay and Minnesota very close.
Tough. Yes, they did.
Lost by what? A field goal and then 5 points?
Combined between the two games, combined 8 points. But that's all right. Yeah, Broncos 5.5 road favorites at Las Vegas.
Damn it.
Florida State 1-9. Oh my gosh! Sorry, I'm just looking at White's comment.
Florida. Why do you think Mark Barron's been semi-quiet on on Facebook?
His college and pro teams combined only have 4 wins.
Something like that, yeah. But
Poor bastard.
That is man.
But
Wyatt is one of your people, Dom. He's a Pistons fan.
Yeah.
Oh, he sure is. Yeah. All right. Well, on to the game. You got the Broncos who's trying to stay alive in the wild card race. The AFC West is looking toughish. Well, it's the Chiefs division to lose, but chips fall into place. They could send 3 teams to the postseason. Who knows? But as far as this game goes, JT, who you got?
I want to say something. Can we please give Bo Nix more respect?
Thank you.
Because everybody is
Tyler
all season is talking about Jaden Daniels. And I understand it. Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback, but Bo Nix is playing. He's playing at a good level as well for a rookie. And the Broncos are in the playoff mix too for a wild card spot. They could get it. The defense is also really good. So yeah, give me the Broncos handling business against the Raiders.
JJ, what about you?
Yeah, Bo Nix is definitely playing very well. Bo Nix is definitely arguably has a good case to become the rookie of the year. And I'm not so sure Jaden Daniels has this sign locked up and sealed away, especially with
not at all
the possibility that he might start to slow down because as everyone knows, he looked like a real rookie against Philadelphia. So I want to see what happens when you go against another strong front if they can get you. Because if that's the case, then it lets me know that you have got a couple starts, but now teams are starting to adjust to how you are playing, and now they're trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, I think the opposite's happened with Denver because Bo Nix, even though we crushed him, he did have some chances, and it wasn't like a typical rookie that I have expected, which would be a lot of scrambling, a lot of moving around. He had a lot of missed throws, but he was not afraid to stay in the pocket. I ultimately think they're going to win this game. It's amazing because this was one of my favorite rivalries when I used to play on Madden, and it doesn't have the pizzazz anymore. And so, but I will go with Denver.
You guys played them early in the
Oh,
year, right? Like week 1,
Bacon,
week 2?
No, we
Bacon.
played them a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Hey, put that comment back up real quick.
Bo Nix over Caleb Williams.
Hey, Bacon, you basically just said Benihana's over McDonald's. All right, put the game back up.
I don't know if I agree with that comment about Bo Nix or.
It's not Caleb Williams' fault.
Bo is
He's a
definitely
bear.
playing at a higher level than Caleb this season.
Yeah. Oh, Dom, your thoughts about the game?
I'm going to take the Broncos, and like JJ said, I would say weeks 1 through 3 or 4, Jaden Daniels was a cut, if not 2 cuts above Bo Nix, because he started really slow. I'm looking at the game logs, and I'm like, this has got to be a mistake. Like this dude has 14 completions for 40 yards or something. But since about week 5 or 6, Bo Nix has put his foot on the gas, and Jaden Daniels has pulled the e-brake and did a barrel roll out of the car. Yeah, the Raiders are that in a very Raiders move. I predict that will be one Danny Dimes's next zip code of destination.
The Raiders.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know, because it's the Raiders.
Yeah. I
He's
mean,
probably going to be a backup.
yeah, he's going to be holding the clipboard. The Raiders would be best served going after Cam Ward or Quinn Ewers or Dylan Gabriel, one of these cats coming out. But now give me the Broncos in this one. They're playing pretty damn good ball. I love their defense. Defense is legit. They got a solid running back as well. But Bo Nix, he's been turning tricks out there. He's been doing it. He's been really getting it. So not too much on this one. I like the Broncos. The Raiders, I don't even really see them keeping it close. Give me the Broncos 31-10. Next game?
Ooh, ouch.
Okay.
Mm.
49ers and Packers. Packers 2.5-point home favorites. Brock Purdy going to the cold Lambeau Field in November. JT, your thoughts?
Oh, man. I just want to take this moment to say I love to see the downfall of the 49ers. Or as I call them, the Red Cowboys. Because this team is the most arrogant team for a team who really hasn't won anything. You got Debo Samuel fighting teammates on the sideline because the field goal kicker missed the game. But Jake Elliott missed like 4 field goals in that game against the Commanders. Did you see anybody trying to like punch him in the face after that? No, because that's not what teammates do. You're supposed to encourage people and lift people up. So Debo Samuel is extremely immature. You have this team going down the spiral. And there's so many problems, and you can just see that they are drained from having a Super Bowl hangover. And I just enjoy every moment of it because I have the 49er fans telling me, oh, when we get CMC, we're going to go back and we're going to dominate everybody in the NFC. Well, this team is probably not even going to make the playoffs at this point if they don't turn it around fast. And I like Green Bay. I like Jordan Love. I like Jaden Reed. I like the players that they got around him. I like that offense. I love Matt LaFleur as a coach. And they're playing at home. And it's at Lambeau Field. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. Green Bay Packers, go Pack, go. Put the cheese head on. Packers win and cover the spread.
Oh, all right. JJ, what about you? Niners, Packers. Do you like that line also?
I actually got the 49ers winning this game because I don't really think the Packers are in a really good spot right now. I do think that the 49ers have some problems. I definitely do. But I do think the best solution to a problem is to face a familiar foe that you have, had success with. And this is a familiar foe you've had success with And they've had their own issues. They've had drops with their wide receivers, and they've had issues against teams that they probably should have been a little bit better in. Jordan Love has kind of regressed, has kind of been through a little slumpers and everything nowadays. Highest turnover ratio, I think, from a quarterback and interception standpoint. And I just think at the end of the day, I think San Francisco, at the end of the day, they still want to get to the playoffs. And I do think that they're going to win this game. And I actually will have them. I won't take them to cover. I'll actually take the money line on this one.
Oh, okay, indeed. And Dom, what about you? Who you got?
Well, because it's a regular season game, I will take the Packers. I mean, we all know that the Packers haven't beat Frisco in the playoffs since God was a child. We probably won't get to see that happen again this year because, like James said, I don't know that Frisco is making the playoffs. Like they've been extremely fortunate that everyone in the division has just been up and down and up and down and up and down. And let's be honest, do any of us really trust Arizona?
I don't know yet.
I mean, I would ask one of
Mm,
their fans if I was for sure that they had any. But I was talking to somebody about this either earlier or yesterday. Here's the bottom line about Frisco. Um, Brock Purdy, without literally each and every one of his weapons, I'm talking Debo, Kittle, CMC. If he doesn't have all three of those guys, he's a 500 quarterback. And if you go a little further back down the line, San Francisco has not had a good, impactful, like game-changing quarterback for more than like a season and a half or 2 seasons since Steve Young.
long time ago.
In other
Long
words,
time ago.
he doesn't trust the Red Cowboys.
I mean, Jordan Love will throw an interception because it's in his contract, must throw one interception per game. He leads the league in picks and he has missed 3 games. But I mean, dude's a gunslinger. But yeah, it's a regular season game, so the Packers got it.
Right.
And I'm like you said, loving this precipitous slide of the Niners. Like I'm not even worried about them in the playoffs anymore because I don't think they'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm
so.
gonna take the Packers in this one. I think the 49ers are still stunned and hung over by Geno Smith running it in on them last week. Going to and I Wyatt says it's gonna be like 42 degrees. And granted, yeah, it's relatively warm by Wisconsin standards. This is a California team. You know what I'm saying? All you guys to turn 50 degrees is already too cold. You know, but no,
You're talking about a California team.
No, the
So,
average
and they
the
said
average daily temperature in San Francisco is 55 degrees,
I say
but it is cold for them.
they're kind of used to being in those colder temperatures out in San Francisco now.
what type of cold is it though? Because dry cold and wet cold are two different things.
They're right by
It's
the
not.
shore.
It's certainly not Green Bay cold.
It's not Green Bay cold, but they're right by the shore.
Green Bay is the tundra, the frozen tundra.
The
Yeah,
frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Yeah, it's a different type of cold up
But,
there.
but you're saying 42. We're not talking about 10. We're talking
Yeah.
42. And 8, if they're used to 50 and it's 42, I don't care how cold it is, it's still not that big of a difference because it's 8 degrees. If it's 20, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the regular season. These are the ones the Packers win against the Niners. They just can't beat them in the playoffs.
Just can't beat them in the playoffs, exactly. Which is why I'm taking the Packers to win. But it will be a bit close though. It'll come down to if it's coming down to the kickers, I trust the one for the Packers a little bit more than the one for the 49ers, even though he did eventually come through in that game. But no, give me the Pack. I'll take them 24-21.
Oh, you don't like what's the Niners kicker's name from Michigan, right? Moody?
Jake Booty?
Yeah.
No, he's straight. He's straight. He kicked the go-ahead field goal in the Super Bowl before Mahomes.
He's no Jake Bates.
No, far from it. In
You
my
know that
opinion.
dude never kicked a field goal until he was in the USFL?
Yeah. I heard all about his story when he was in the USFL. He was in the Michigan Panthers, but yeah, Cardinals, Seahawks.
Ooh.
I'm a little shocked at this line, to be honest with you. Seahawks are 1-point home faves against the Cardinals, but rivalry matchup. Cardinals and Seahawks tend to deliver from time to time. But JT, your thoughts about this game? Who you got?
On the topic of the 49ers, man, I loved every second of that Geno Smith touchdown last week. That was such a great win for the Seattle Seahawks division game. And now they're playing at home. And I'm going to pick Seattle to keep it rolling because I'm not drinking the Cardinals Kool-Aid. If they prove me wrong this week, I may have to take them seriously. But I think Seattle is actually going to put themselves in the driver's seat by winning back-to-back division games, and then Geno Smith telling the people, "I didn't write back," and it keeps rolling. Seattle by a field goal.
All right. JJ, what about you?
Interesting that you have that approach about Arizona. That means because I know earlier in the season you did have praises about them in terms of what they were looking like, and so. But I'm not
Because early
buying
in the
it.
season, they were up and down. They would win games and look really good, and then the next week they would look bad.
I'm not going to say I buy them, but I'll buy them to win this game. I think that they're actually. I think that they are. They're not dominant or so, but they're like, okay, you know what? We could compete. We could compete and win some of these games, and we are in the driver's seat. I think as it stands right now in our division, and I think they're going to get this game. I think it's really interesting because this is actually an interesting game. I like just because it's like two teams that are literally average, but they're average to the point where you look at their wins, they're like, wow, or the games they play, you're like, wow, they actually competed with some of the best of the best, and it's just like, and it's interesting. But I have the Cardinals winning this game. I'll have them covering the spread because I ain't doing the money line now.
Dom, what about you?
I am going to take the Seahawks mostly because they're at home. Also because I still don't really buy the Cardinals, and I feel like K9 has got to bust out one of these weeks. He's been stifled most of the season. Plus, I would just love to see it because the Seahawks win just throws that division into further chaos because Frisco stays in the basement. Seattle and potentially the Rams gain another game on them, and it's the 500 division. It's like who can get it's a race to 9 wins.
Yeah, it might be a nine. It might be a, a 9-8 team that gets in. This is actually tough because, like I said, Cardinals and Seahawks they have a potential to deliver this weekend as they have before. Had this had been in Arizona, I probably would have picked the Cardinals. But yeah, I'll take the
Why?
Seahawks in this one. The Seahawks, I think they have new life now. They were leading, and then they had some losses. They were actually at the bottom of the division, and now they're smelling the top again. They need this win. I know the Cardinals need it, but the Seahawks, I think they're rejuvenized. They have new life in this division. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one. I don't know if it'll come down to another Geno game-winning drive, but I'll take them 27-21. Next game.
They got rid of the blackout rule for broadcasts like years ago, right?
A ton ago, yeah.
Because I was going to say otherwise, Cardinals fans, if they do exist, they couldn't have possibly seen a game since like Kurt Warner. Because they don't have
Exactly.
any fans, so like unless 70,000 people that are Seahawks fans fill the stadium,
Yeah, yeah.
I really don't think they exist. Never met one.
All right, what we got next? Getting close to the end of the
The
show here.
Rams.
See, yeah. Speaking of the NFC West, Sunday Night Football, Eagles are 3-point road faves at Los Angeles. So can Stafford and the Rams keep up their NFC West hopes over one of the NFL's best teams? JT, your thoughts about this game?
You guys know from watching the show that I have a tremendous respect to the Rams.
Yeah.
I have said for weeks and weeks and weeks that I think the Rams is going to be a dangerous team. I got respect to Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the game. And I got respect to Stafford. He's a veteran quarterback. And he's a guy that can get the ball out of his hands quickly with that quick release, which is what he's going to have to do to the Eagles defense, which has been a dominant defense of the last 6 weeks. And when we talk about the elite defenses in the game, we have to mention this defense because the numbers and the production and the winning, creating turnovers, creating sacks, pass rush, everything has been there, been clicking. So I think this game is going to pose a big challenge. I think there's going to be quick screens and throws and stuff to get Stafford in a rhythm. So the Eagles are going to have to be disciplined and combat that, like on the perimeter. Stay with your man, make the tackle, don't let guys get around you, or there's going to be problems. Because Sean McVay, like I said, this guy can call the most masterful plays that you've seen ever. He's that good. So I think the Eagles know what they're up against and how this is a crucial part of our season. We're starting to play great teams. After this, we got to go to the Ravens. So we got to start playing real ball starting now. And I think the
Oh, I
Eagles
can't
know.
wait to see that debate.
I think the Eagles know what their formula of winning is, which is let the defense set the tone, and then on offense, you got to get the ball to Saquon Barkley, get the ball going. Even if he gets bottled up, which he's been bottled up in a lot of games this year, but it always is that one play that he makes that breaks the game open. And then before you know it, he scored 2 touchdowns of 40-plus yards against Washington Commanders, effectively putting an end to the game. So I think they got to stick with their formula. It's what's been helping them winning games. We won 6 in a row. I think the Eagles win 27-17.
All right. And JJ, what about you?
I'll say this off the fresh back. I know these sports books and these prize pick apps are going to think twice next year when Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley props come up, because if you've taken their NFL season props, they cleared those easily already, which shows you that running backs still have value at the end of the day. This is a very, I don't really think it's, I don't, this is an interesting matchup. It really is an interesting matchup in the sense of, whoa, sorry, that kind of caught me off guard. I'm actually going to go with the Eagles in this one, but I'll actually go with them winning by 3 on the dot. And it
Mm,
wouldn't surprise me if the Rams somehow shocked them at the end of the game, because you got to meet physicality with physicality. And the Rams run the football because they know they're going to have a physical offense as well. It's going to be based off of that defense if they want to contain and get a chance to hang on with this Philadelphia offense. But James is right. You keep running Saquon, and you keep letting Saquon do Saquon. And the key about Saquon is he also can catch out the backfield. Two very good dual threat running backs are playing in this game, and
yep.
I'm excited to see it. But I'm going with the Eagles in with this one.
All right. Dom, what about you?
A few things about this. I can't remember his last name, but James, who's that stud defensive back that you guys have, the rookie?
Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh yeah, Mitchell. I was yesterday years old when I was reminded he's the guy from Toledo, and a lot of mocks had us taking him, and I'm like, no way. Who's he matched up against? Like Eastern or Central or Western's finest, but that dude has been as advertised and then some. However, I'm going to take the Rams because chiefly because it's Sunday night football, so they've been scoreboard watching and they will have seen the Red Cowboys lose, the Cardinals lose, so they've got a chance to make up ground. I think it comes down to a game-winning drive by Matt Stafford.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I do somehow have this game close. But I'm gonna pick the Eagles in this one. The Eagles, and for reasons just like Bacon said in the comments, 'cause it was right around this time when the Eagles started doing this last year. So they have to finish out this part of the season, this section of the season strong. They know they can't sleep like they did last year. But no, close. I've got it by a field goal as well. I think it'll come down to a game-winning drive by Jalen Hurts. You might look at it as Stafford versus Jalen Hurts. Don't be shocked if it's Barkley versus Kyron Williams, and
Yeah.
they both hang with each other. Like I could low key see this being a Russian battle, but I'll take the Eagles 27-24. And
Also, Philly hasn't lost in any game this year that AJ Brown has played, correct?
Correct.
yep, that's true. Last game, Ravens. Hardball Bowl Part 2, 3, something like that. You know what? I ain't even gonna waste no time. Part 2. I ain't gonna waste no time. JJ,
Three.
kick it off.
Part 3.
JJ, kick it off.
Oh, okay. So we have the Ravens and the Chargers, the Harbaugh brothers. The brothers get together again once more. And if you remember the last time they played each other for the biggest game of the season. And the big brother, who actually looks younger than the little brother, is actually the one that came out on top. And yes, I'll say it once again, Vegas, you guys got your spread because everybody had the Ravens 3.5 and they only won by 3. We know why that power went out. Don't judge. I get it. Moving on. So now you got this man, the Baltimore Ravens had a tough loss against their rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now they placed another team through Lamar Jackson's career. He's had a chance to go against this guy. So it's kind of like a team they know each other as well with his brother. So I'm gonna throw it back to my man Nico Collins over here. And I want him to see if he can tell me who he thinks is going to win this game.
Man, as it says at the bottom, potential game of the week. You know, the Ravens, they need a bounce back from last week because I think it stung them just a little bit that they scored 2 touchdowns, the Steelers scored none, and the Steelers won the game somehow. If we had said this about any other team, it's whoa, how the hell did that happen? But somehow because it was the Steelers, it kind of made sense. But the Ravens do need to bounce back. They do need to keep pace. I know they're rooting for a Browns victory on Thursday night. I'll take the Ravens in this one. I think they get it done late in the game. Maybe by way of a touchdown pass to Zay Flowers, one of those deep catching runs. But I'm going to take them 28-20. JT?
I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game.
You always do.
I'm picking the Chargers mainly because I think Baltimore. The number one reason that I just can't get behind the Baltimore Ravens is because of that defense. That is not the Baltimore Ravens defense. That's not you. When you talk about this Ravens team, you always associate the team with guys like Ray Lewis, with guys like Ed Reed, and just being an elite defense. But this defense is sweet like a sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving. They give up yards. They give up big plays. And against a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who's a good quarterback, that's going to hurt you. So I like the way that the Chargers are looking. They're a physical football team. They run the ball. I think that's going to set up some big plays for Justin Herbert to throw the ball down the field. And I think the Chargers win 34-27.
Interesting fronts on both fronts. One, I do have to correct you. The Ravens aren't necessarily thinking about the Browns because, number one, we don't really care about it. Plus, we have a game with them back, and they still have to play the Kansas City Chiefs. So if we're looking at projecting, the Ravens still feel like they have a chance to take the division, even if they continue winning games just as much as they do. Picking on to the James point, the wrinkle about that is, which is interesting, is that I've noticed that you have picked against us in pretty much any type of matchup when it comes to some type of big-time quarterback. You had it against the Bills. They won. You did against the Bengals. They won. And so now it's coming up against Justin Herbert, who is a guy, no matter who has been the defensive coordinator, he has struggled against. And now coming up again, the reason why I will say I will take the Ravens in this one is actually because the Ravens made one change in defense, and the defensive change was almost immediate. Granted, it was against a rival that they know, but inserting our Darius Washington in the safety lineup with Kyle Hamilton, the defense did not allow Russell Wilson to get over 200 yards. So the fourth quarter, they didn't allow any touchdowns. They only had 2 big plays, and they were really stretched down the middle when Roquan Smith was let out. So I'm curious to see if that's going to continue, because a couple things that's going to be playing into this as well is that we know Greg Roman's scheme. Greg Roman knows our scheme. Now we're going to see who knows it more and who can actually stop each other better. And I do think at the end of the day, Pittsburgh's defense is just as physical as ours. I don't know if LA Chargers defense is just as physical as our offense is, and we're going to find out. And that's why I actually think my Ravens are going to come out and actually have people think they're going to be back on the train, and I think they're going to win this game by 10 points.
Uh-huh. And last but not least, Dom, close it out.
I'm simultaneously mad but also happy, like because it would have been ironic for me to lone wolf the Chargers, but I really didn't want to. And this almost seems like the polar opposite of the Chargers chargering because it's against a good team, so you would expect them to lose to a crappy team at this point. But that defense is really good. Um, Jim Harbaugh realized he has a quarterback with elite arm talent and that he couldn't just try to win the game on defense and running the ball because this isn't the University of Michigan and your running backs are broken down leftovers that your brother gave you out of pity.
They're doing well.
By and large, they are.
I say JK has, I think, 8-9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, somehow, some way, I've got the Chargers. On like I said, on the spectacle of the polar opposite of the Chargers charging, rather than losing to a shitty team, beating a good team.
Little brother never beat big brother, but we're gonna see if he does.
They almost charged it last week, but they managed to get it done. But
Jet lag.
yeah, but we're in for a hell of a ride here on next Monday, and while that is, we are at the 1 hour and 1 minute mark. That concludes our episode of the Gauntlet Presents Pick Off. Thank everybody for tuning in. Tune in to the Sideline Sports Network. We're on Facebook, X, YouTube, Stream TV, Believe Network. Also, tell a brother, tell a brother, tell a friend. Tune in. We got excellent material every single week, every single day. So for JT, Dom, and JJ, I am the Snipe Dog, and we will see you all next week for actually, we'll see you this Friday for the Gauntlet. But as far as this show goes, yeah, we'll see you next week for week 13. But we're gonna see you in about 2 days for that other show.
Good night, Indianapolis. See you on Saturday.